How far to go when criticizing Israel is the question, specifically the right-wing government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and all that without alienating the party's traditional American Jewish base. One candidate who has not hesitated to speak sharply against Israeli policies, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. He even ramped it up a notch on the campaign trail.
I am not anti-Israel, but the fact of the matter is that Netanyahu is a right-wing politician who I think is treating the Palestinian people extremely unfairly. In other words, the goal must be to try to bring people together and not just support one country, which is now run by a right-wing, dare I say, racist government.
Dan, once upon a time, really even in 2016, statements like that from Bernie Sanders might make him the outlier, but it seems like these days not so much, at least in the progressive landscape.
Right. The progressive or liberal wing of the Democratic Party feels that Netanyahu is bad news. And Netanyahu being reelected will mean that Israel will continue to be right-wing, as they put it, or anti-peace. That's their view. Or you saw what Senator Sanders, who's Jewish, said, that it's a racist government in Israel. Sanders also pointed out that in his youth, he spent some time in Israel. He worked on a kibbutz. So he's trying to kind of play both sides. He's not anti-Israel, as he put it. We certainly have some Democrats who don't even underline that they are basically pro-Israel. There's definitely a change. Will it be an issue in next year's campaign? Probably not, but in some states in the Democratic primary, well, yep, there are Jewish donors who still support Israel, and there are Jewish voters, quite a few in states like New York, Illinois, and, yes, parts of California especially. Narit and Kalev.
Dan, there's a figure who was not even officially yet declared for the Democratic primary, and that is Joe Biden. Of course, he represents more of the centrist Democratic position, perhaps, on Israel, though he's been certainly critical of the Netanyahu government. Is it perhaps that he will be able to benefit from the positions taken by a progressive like Bernie Sanders?
What an interesting question. First, there is news. NBC News says it found out that Joe Biden, the former vice president, will announce on Thursday through an online video that he is running for president. So, I mean, everyone's expected that, but still it's a major announcement. Now it'll really be a test whether Biden can continue to attract crowds and whether the old mainstream Democratic Party view is the way to go. So you have two men, ages 77 and 76, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, who seem to be leading the pack among candidates for the Democratic nomination. Or will primary voters go for someone younger or someone female? In last night's succession of CNN town halls, there were 5 candidates for president on the Democratic Party side. 3 of them are women.